In accordance with YouTube's terms of service, the producers of this video wish to state for the record that all mRNA vaccines are safe and effective, and that the World Health Organization is the sole trusted authority on all public health matters. All hail Bill Gates. For more information on Xi Jinping's propaganda war on the West and how it relates to the COVID regime, I highly recommend Michael Senger's excellent book Snake Oil: How Xi Jinping Shut Down the World. Link below in the description. In both ancient China and medieval Europe, plagues were experienced as deadly events that, lacking the benefit of science and reason, generated great fear. In order to save themselves from these seemingly capricious events, the primitive mind often seeks to make a bargain with the unknown, bedeviling them in the forms of sacrifices and rituals. The hope is that the act of making a sacrifice will appease the gods enough to spare their lives. Social isolation, scapegoating of outgroups, and sacrificing animals were some of the more drastic measures used to keep these demons of fear and ignorance at bay. Thankfully for Europe and the West, the 17th and 18th centuries saw the arrival of the Age of Reason, otherwise known as the Enlightenment. This period elevated concepts such as reason, science, and individual rights over tradition and religious authority. The acceptance of these ideas allowed the West to flourish as never before as knowledge advanced on all fronts. Some of the biggest advances in Western science came in the areas of public health and how to deal with pandemics. This reached its height in the late 1930s when A.W. Heydrich is credited with introducing the concept of herd immunity. This revolutionary and counterintuitive doctrine taught that when a large enough portion of a population becomes immune to a disease, its spread is reduced significantly. Therefore, the best approach when dealing with pandemics is to isolate the sick and vulnerable while identifying potential treatments. Resisting mass hysteria and pressure to enact the superstitious and ineffective rituals of the past, such as isolation and sacrifice, was paramount. This is how D.A. Henderson, considered to be an almost godlike figure in terms of public health for his role in eradicating smallpox, put it: "Experience has shown that communities faced with epidemics or other adverse events respond best and with the least anxiety when the normal social functioning of the community is least disrupted." This rational and scientific Western approach was employed with great success during pandemics such as the 1957 Asian flu and the Hong Kong flu of 1968 to 69. The Hong Kong flu was arguably more dangerous than COVID. Due to D.A. Henderson's light touch, however, most were not even aware of it, including the revelers at Woodstock that year. This European experience contrasts with that of China, which went from a feudal to a communist society without ever experiencing its own form of the Enlightenment. To China's rulers, public health became a tool to exert control over the population. Lockdowns, masking, social distancing, etc. do nothing for public health. However, they are extremely useful as a jackboot to break the human spirit and maintain your hold on power. In China, this nefarious policy is known as Fangkong. Fangkong is the velvet glove of public health that hides the authoritarian fist underneath. In the West, you can be punished for committing a crime. However, you can argue against this punishment on the grounds of justice or human rights. Under Fangkong, whole populations, not just individuals, can be imprisoned for whatever the government deems as public health in a criminal, justice-like fashion. Wrongthink and opposition to the government, such as the Tibetans and Uyghurs have done, can now be used as justifications to be placed in concentration camps. As it is for public health, the health of the entire society, this policy cannot be argued against on the grounds of human rights and justice. This is what the West experienced during the COVID regime, its own form of Fangkong. Lockdowns, quarantines, forced masking, mandatory vaccinations, deplatforming, censorship. These are just a few of the social norms that could not have been done under Western norms of criminal justice. These civil rights abuses were only possible under the guise of public health, our system of Western Fangkong. By importing this CCP policy, nothing was gained in terms of public health, but tremendous damage was done to the societal bonds and social structures of our liberal societies. In time, the age of the COVID regime will be seen not for the virus of disease, but rather the virus of Fangkong. In the coming years and decades, it is imperative for the West to rediscover its Enlightenment inheritance of science and reason. Western Fangkong must be rooted out, root and branch, and never attempted again. If you like this video, get my free ebook, The Little Book of COVID Red Pills, at redpillcovid.com. It will teach you the top 5 arguments to red pill anyone on the dark realities of the COVID regime and why we must never experience this form of Western Fangkong again.